Tell him to suck a dick.
Is this weird, T?
Can you see that?
Okay. Okay.
Yo, we live? I can't tell we live. We live?
I can't tell either.
All right, fuck it. What's happening? It's your boy Mike Rashid.
You got Party Tour Body.
Lions, owls, and elephants. This is the podcast. This is the show. This is whatever you want to call it. What's happening? What's happening, Sean?
It's another busy day, another busy week. We have a lot of things we're working on. A lot of advancements coming with Ambrosia, new products. We have a big sale coming up. It's obviously the fourth weekend. We've got to keep it moving. But we have an important topic that we kind of had to put the brakes on things in order.
When I was in Miami, I met up with Fresh and Fit. Shout out to Myron and Fresh. And we just had a talk, you know what I'm saying? And on the actual show, nothing came up about red pill, blue pill. But, in the comments, I saw a lot of discussion about it. Now, I want to talk about it. I do read comments, right? And it alarmed me, the stuff that I saw, the vitriol, the hatred in the comments based on how I speak about women, right? And I never thought I would live in a world where people would be mad at me for talking about women with respect, you know what I mean, and wanting to protect them, right? Very interesting, very fascinating. So I have, from that day on, I have not been dismissive of these people's views, right? From that day on, I have not been dismissive of these people's views, right? I try to listen, and I talk to certain leaders in the space, this red pill space. And let me say this, for those who don't know. I've never even heard the term red pill, blue pill until reading those comments. It's not a part of my world. I've never heard anyone say that. So, except for the Matrix, and it was a completely different philosophy behind it. Now, I've had numerous discussions with people in that space. I've seen people make videos about me giving their little point of view. And I'm not saying, I've never had a position like, oh, this is terrible, this is bad, this red pill thing. But the people in the comments, the followers, is really interesting. And my man, Myron, he was saying like, yo, don't read the comments. I'm like, look, I read comments, I think, and it's a reason I read comments because on my channel, when I put out information, I want to, see if I'm effectively delivering my message. So seeing what people talk about, and I engage with them. I'm not above that. So that's why I kind of monitor, see where people's heads are at.
Well, communication's only as good as what the other person receives, right?
Correct.
You can think you're delivering a good message, but if they don't understand, then you weren't delivering a good message. So it is important for you to be in there and see what people are getting out of the content you're putting out. Indeed.
And also, we got to take this in consideration. What are we really trying to do, right? Are we just, certain things is entertaining, even serious topics like people put on the news, whether it be Fox or CNN during political times, they go to the channels that they subscribe to in terms of ideologies, right? And it's not like this information it's not like they're receiving any information that's doing anything for their lives, but it feels good. It's an echo chamber, and some people just exist in that space and probably not doing anything with that information, right? And you have, I'm not even going to say fringe, you have fringe ideas of these concepts, but it seems to be in a general population of these followers, of these people, have these bizarre notions of said philosophies or ideologies, which is interesting. So I really believe that part of that is people by nature subscribe or attach themselves to the easiest concepts to grasp, right? And typically, human nature, for some reason, it's easy to blame people, you know? And this is what we're dealing with. There's a bunch of creators and channels out there that's giving advice, telling men how to be successful at dating, right? So if there's people that's seeking advice, they have some kind of deficiency. They don't know what to do, or they're not successful. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a slight at people in that situation. They just don't know what to do. So, however, there's a deficiency. If I've come to you before about nutrition, I had a deficiency in my knowledge and my implementation on nutrition. You're an expert in nutrition. This is something that you have years of study behind you and accreditations and qualifications. So you're in position to counsel me on that, right? So we all have deficiencies in different places, and we seek counsel for that. So here it is, a bunch of people who are seeking counsel from, my brothers Fresh and Fit and Uncle Kev and whoever else on YouTube. Yet they're speaking as an authority and with vehement vitriol and violence in their tone. You know what I'm saying? I've been called a bitch. I've been called a simp. I've been called what's wrong with society. This is interesting. Now, I've seen other channels doing their videos. Everyday people sending me, oh, this dude said this dude said that. So one of them, I don't know this guy's name, is a white dude, an old white man. And he prefaced what he was saying, like about me. He said, well, think about a person who has $100 million. You might look at them as, put them on a certain whatever. I'm paraphrasing like a motherfucker. I don't know exactly what he said. But he said, just because somebody has $100 million don't mean they're a person of character, right? Very interesting. Why default to that? Clearly, this person isn't in the situation of the person he's talking about. He don't even know anything about this guy, about me. So why use innuendos to say, I may not be a person of character? Why that, right? To disqualify me from anyone listening to me. Then, this motherfucker said, you can't listen to somebody like Mike because he's a natural. A natural at what? He has the looks, he has the success, the money. And people are running with that in the comments like, you can't listen to him. Da-da-da-da-da. Mike's already, he doesn't understand the average man's plight, right? So fucking fascinating that people are saying this. And I say, and I've been saying this for years, fuck average, right? I'm not saying fuck an average person. I'm saying fuck the notion of succumbing to what average is, right? For me, I don't care what anybody do. You know what I mean? People are free to live their lives. However, I am not the guy telling people how they should live. Now, I do give my perspective on things, and I try to give the most honest, the most reasonable and rational advice that I can give. And usually it's based off of my experiences or things that I've learned from other people. Now, another complaint of these people, when Mike speaks, he's speaking from his point of view, his perspective. What other perspective can I speak from? And wouldn't that be valid for a person to tell you their route, right? I can't tell you Sean's route because Sean lived his life. I didn't live his life, I didn't come with statistics. I don't come with statistics. I care not about statistics about dating. I don't. I just don't, right? And I understand the flow of averages. I totally get it. It makes a lot of sense. However, I also understand how to take myself out of that, right? So it's not impossible. So this is what I want to do. I want to give people a little bit of perspective because they think that I'm the natural. I never had these problems. I don't understand that average guy. Okay. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, right? And I grew up in New York in the 80s and 90s. This is when we had these huge crime waves. The murder rate was out of this world. Crack decimated the city. New York City was completely different. It was a mass exodus. People trying to get out the city, go down south, come out west. I'm stuck. I'm there. I lived in it. It's a different New York now than it was when I was growing up, right? And I'm from Brooklyn, one of the most rough boroughs. And the house that I grew up in literally corrupted my neighborhood because we had Jamaicans in our basement selling crack out the basement. And that was like the epicenter of that section of Brooklyn. I lived in the house. Now, we had a ton of problems. And by the way, my mother and father wasn't together, but I had mother and father because they think single parent. I had my mother and my father and my grandparents, you know what I'm saying, who were married over 40, 50 years now.
But that was one of the things that the gentleman Rolo had said was that he probably comes from a dual parent household, which you didn't actually.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said that's why you feel the way you feel about women, and or one of the reasons, and that's not accurate.
Right, but it doesn't matter if I did or didn't.
Right.
I would want to respect women. I respect men and women. I respect even animals. I respect everybody as as anyone should. I don't have an inherent hatred or disdain for anybody, any type of people, except for bad people, fucked up people. All right. So back to Brooklyn. So Brooklyn was rough, and we were poor, right? Well, one period of our lives we were rich because my mother's husband was one of the biggest drug dealers in New York City, and he died. And when he died, that shit was all bad. We had I remember nights where my mother would have to boil water, let it cool down to give me baths when I was a little kid, because the gas would go out. I remember times when electric bill wasn't paid, that shit go out. We had candles for light. My mom be scared, I'm scared. She holding me on the couch all night. You know what I'm saying? I remember these nights. So by no means that was I the natural, that I just had it, right? Now, when I was about 12 years old, even before that, I don't know what age I fell in love with boxing. Me and my grandfather would watch it on Saturdays or Fridays, whenever it would come on HBO. The sound, the jingle of like Friday Night Boxing or whatever from HBO was just like a comforting sound to me. You know, certain songs you hear, you gotta watch it, you gotta tap in. Kind of like The Office. I was such a fan of The Office. I was like addicted to that jingle anyway. So I fell in love with boxing, and then I started actually boxing. My dad got me into boxing, and that was somewhat of an escape from my surroundings, you know. It was somewhere where, it was hard to do, but it was fun. And it was like, so I fell in love with that. And I also fell in love with working out, lifting weights, doing pull-ups, racing people. You know, we play in Brooklyn, you play every sport outside. You know what I'm saying? In the playground, getting your knees scraped up, bloody, whatever. And there were some legit athletes out there. So anyway, very competitive because it's a lot of kids out, and we played everything, and we always tried to win. So I started working out at an early age, and I never stopped from then. From 12 years old, when I remember I knew I was doing this and doing that, right? It's never stopped till then. I'm 44 now. It's 32 years that I've been physically active, right? Now, I wanted to be strong. I was skinny, right? It's a lot of I was not a big kid. So I wanted to make sure, I can't just get bigger, so at least I could be strong. I could be more formidable. So I armed myself with strength. I armed myself with hands, boxing, because, I don't want to get beat up. I don't want to be a victim. And I got in a lot of fights growing up. So
we've already dispelled two of the things that you were not born with money, nor were you born with like this
Adonis.
This
that's what they're
crazy
saying.
Physique
this Adonis, right?
And skill set that
correct
led you to just appear here as a natural would do. Someone who just like every single thing was already done for them.
Right.
That's not the case. So two of those things have already been kind of dispelled.
Correct. So
not from a dual parent household.
Correct. So here we go. Life was hard, you know what I mean? But what are you going to do about it? And that's always been my mentality. So as I got older, I saw my body starting to change, getting cuts. And I can show you pictures of me as a teenager. I thought I was swole with the tank tops on. I was not. I was just cut. But, whatever. You don't know. You don't realize it. But I look back on those pictures. I was like, damn, why would I wear that? You know what I'm saying? That was not a good look. But I was wearing that because I had confidence, because I was working out. And I'm seeing a little something, But that's just how it is. It's confidence, right? So never strayed from that or boxing. Boxing I started straying from as I got older because it was just tougher. It is so much discipline involved, and you just don't have a life, right? So around 20, 21, 22, I don't recall my actual age at this time, I quit boxing. It was very hard. I didn't have the discipline or the support system at the time to keep pushing through. So I just quit. But I was gunning to turn pro, and I had my dreams of being a champ and all of that, right? And I was in good company, right? So I'm trying to figure life out as a young man. Broke. Don't know don't know which way is up. So one thing that I didn't like was not being able to, do the things that I wanted to do that I seen other people doing. So people had cars, I didn't have a car. People had this, that. So I had to, early on, I was like, yo, I got to work. I got to save money. I got a job, and they let us do overtime sometimes. So I would do the overtime, and I would get paid more. I'm like, the more I work, the more I get paid. It's such a simple concept. But the more you work, the more you make, right? So I would do that as much as I can, and that shit never left me. That concept of just doing more and getting more, right? I want more money, so I'm gonna do more work. First car, went to college. Started out at community college, then I went to university. Didn't finish the university though. So I got my first car. Let's talk about a car.
It was a Rolls Royce.
My first car was a Phantom. Nah, my first car was gray, primered. Now, if y'all know what primer is, that's like when a car's about to get a paint job, they primer it, they sand it down. It looks like shit, right? So why I bought a primered car, I don't know. I don't know why it was primered. I don't remember, but it was in between paint jobs. It looked like shit. I bought it. The car blew a gasket. Engine was shot before I got home the day I bought it. Damn. Right? Then I had like $3,000 from my grant money, right? Bought another car, a Nissan Stanza, like a 89 or I don't know, 90. I drove it. I literally drove that car till the wheels fell off of it. You know what I'm saying? No exaggeration. So, no nice cars. You know what I'm saying? And let's fast forward. And I've had all the problems any young man has, right? Driving, worrying about my car overheating. That was a constant concern. You know what I'm saying? Car, I could smell the antifreeze. Fuck, it's gonna overheat. You know what I mean? I had a car that one of the light in the glove box wouldn't shut off. Right? So if I didn't disconnect the battery when I parked somewhere, my battery would die. So I get to the mall trying to be fly. I gotta hold on. Lift up the hood.
Pull that battery off.
You know what I'm saying? This is shit I grew up doing. You know what I'm saying? So I've been real fucked up, but I've been okay, right? Like every stage of my life, it was manageable. And here's why. I'm a realist. And I think without me realizing that I'm a realist back then, I just was looking back on it. There was people, there was girls, there was places, there was vehicles, there was shit that was out of my reach, that was out of my league. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to be with girls that was out of my league. I would just like, damn, that would be nice. And I didn't feel a certain way that I couldn't get this girl. I knew I didn't, what do I have to offer? You know what I'm saying? She probably have more money than me.
Right.
So I never bothered girls like that. I didn't go trying to a dealership trying to finance a car that I couldn't afford. You know what I'm saying? I could things that was out of my league. I didn't, it's a distant thought until I leveled up. And you always level up, right? So let's fast forward to now, right? Some of y'all might see me in a Lambo, Rolls Royce, used to have a Bentley, whatever, right? Do you think that shit is easy to get? Do they think that's easy?
I don't think so. I don't think they do.
Okay. So, what does it take to get shit like that, Sean? I'm asking you. What does it take to get a supercar? What does it take to get what does it take to get a Rolls Royce or a Ferrari in your case?
You have to have the income.
How do you get the income?
You have to do things that command a value, whether it's working in a business or owning a business. There's a lot of different ways to get there, but either way, you're creating value. It's either in someone else's system or your own system. Doesn't really matter which one. You can do both excellently.
Exactly.
But you just got to be valuable.
Correct.
You have to be of a value.
And one thing that you said was so important in your system or in someone else's system. We have someone here, because it ain't like just the people who own the businesses get to enjoy the fruits. There's someone here that works in our system that just bought a McLaren. You know what I'm saying? That's the fly shit to me. You know what I mean? So it's you can be somewhere and still work your fucking ass off, and you will be rewarded for it. Now, let's back up a little bit. YouTube, right? I have 1 million subscribers. Well, over 1 million. But that 1 million was a milestone, right? Do you think they think it's easy to get that?
I hope they don't. I think most people, if you ever put a camera on yourself and even just try and film the simplest thing, you realize that, oh, shit, this is not as easy as I thought it was.
Let me back y'all up a little bit more. In 2014, well, a huge part of me building up my brand, I was a fugitive, right? I was a fugitive of the state of Arizona, or the United States, actually. So they came and got me. The U.S. Marshals, you can't get away with that kind of shit. If you got cases, you're going to get caught if you don't turn yourself in. So they came and got me. This is what I'm doing, YouTube, all of that, right? I bonded out. Very high bond. They gave me a big-ass ankle bracelet, like this big, right? It was a GPS. It was a metal GPS bracelet. So they knew where I was at all times, right? If I drove past a Greyhound or airport, they would call me from the fucking device. Rude. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing over there? And I can't man, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I got to take that. I had to eat crow, right? But guess what I did? I'll pull up the videos. This is when I was wearing boots when I was training, right? I didn't complain. The shit was very depressing, right? Because I'm on release, but my future looked bleak. It did not look good for me because I had two cases that I had to deal with from my past, on top of what's called a FOJ enhancement, a fugitive of justice enhancement. Typically, when somebody go on a run, they get punished worse. So I had all of that shit to deal with, right? While I'm on release. So it was an emotion in my stomach that made me want to just do nothing, just sleep. It's called depression, right? I dealt with that. Didn't want to do nothing, just no motivation. But this is what I did. I still trained people. I still shot my YouTube videos. I just wore boots and pants, and I tucked the pants to where you couldn't see the ankle bracelet. Now, if y'all go back and look now, I'm trying to think of some videos where I notice it. You'll see the shit kind of bulging out, but I stayed positive, and I still went out there and did what I had to do. I lived my life as if I didn't have those cases looming, as if my future was bright, right? If I didn't, let's say if I didn't do those things and I beat it still, because I beat it, and I beat it still, I'll probably be out the mix by now. You know what I'm saying? Because I took so much time off of YouTube and all that other stuff, right? This is hard to sustain, to stay relevant. You know what I'm saying? I've been here for 9 years, so tells you a little bit. Anyway, so I stayed positive. One thing that my father told me when I was young, he said, and this is some advice I give to y'all. He says, you don't build character when in good times. That's easy. He said character is built when times are rough, when times are hard, right? You lose your job, lose your girlfriend, lose your cat, Sean, whatever hard times that you're facing, you know, this is what you do. You stay positive, you smile, you dig yourself out of the deficit that you're in, because most likely you put yourself in it. Even if you didn't, dig yourself out, and you treat people good, because when things are bad, your mood changes. You angry. You're more moody. You're quick to snap. You're most likely to do something that's not ethical. These are characteristics of actions that one would do typically when shit is looking bleak, right? So you keep your head up. It's stress. It's you deal with stress properly, and you grow from it. You don't deal with it properly, it destroys you. Pressure produces diamonds or bust pipes. Stress is not good or bad. It's how we deal with it that will determine whether it was good or bad for us, right? And I choose, me, a normal person, any adversity I deal with, any impediment that I'm faced with, any brick wall that stands in front of me, I get creative and I try to deal with that shit the best way that I can and make it still benefit me. I don't succumb to my circumstances. Everyone is faced with circumstances. I beat a lot of circumstances, and I'll have to fight a lot more, because life is not over, and that's the nature of life. Now, I choose to deal with shit properly, to take the stronger route. There's some little micro tests that I do fail sometimes, and I know it. As soon as I make that wrong decision, I'm like, fuck, I just failed the test, you know? But I think the big ones, I do pretty good at passing those tests and doing what's proper, what's right. And that's something I try to tell everybody to do. Now, we have a group of people saying, well, you don't look at statistics. Most men are average. Most of us are average. Okay? Just like me, I was average too. I was under average, but I didn't accept it. They think that this is some, what did they say? Like I'm on some woohoo shit, like, just be yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying tap into your higher self, or don't. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to turn blue in the face, talking to them blue in the face, to try to help somebody if they don't want help. It's a lot of people who say very negative things about me and towards me that accept being average. They accept, well, I'll never be on that level or that status. I had a guy in my comments one day tell me on Instagram, well, you trying to be like Jeff Bezos? Yes. The likelihood of me being as wealthy as Jeff Bezos is not high at all. The probability is not high. But guess what? That's not going to stop me from trying, right? And like it or love it, who cares? It's my life. I'm still trying, right? So My father's at 80 years old. He still plays the lotto. You know what I'm saying? He could still hit it. You know what I mean? So that's just a personality trait that you don't have to be born with, right? So back to our YouTube. Now, whatever I had to do to grow the channel to where it's at, it took a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. Now, a lot of people who's out there seeking this dating advice and subscribing to being average probably are not in a situation to be chasing women, right? So, had I been chasing women all this time, I would not be where I'm at. Straight up. There was a time, I talked about this in a video before, when I used to work at Metroflex, Long Beach. Shout out to Metroflex. And this is before I had status. I was just a trainer paying rent there. And there's other trainers paying rent. And there was a weird energy in the gym because there was one or two guys that were just ODing, trying to OD on the chicks. And the women in the gym is my client, your client, his clients, whatever. So I pulled a meeting with just the trainers. I said, look, guys, I didn't single anybody out. I said, look, guys, can we should like leave the women alone in here, let them work out, because let's say I start dating his client, it's not going to work out. Like, none of us are in a position to marry, whatever. So we're going to stop talking. She ain't going to feel comfortable coming. It's fucking up his money or whatever. It's just messing up the flow of the gym, and this is where we work at. This is years ago I had this conversation. The couple guys that didn't take my advice, that kept harassing, just trying, just putting their energy in chicks, years later was still there struggling to pay their gym rent. You know what I'm saying? Years later. I was long gone. You know what I mean? So it's just a testament to like, look, when you're on a certain level, if you're complaining about women, you're complaining about you can't get this kind of girl or that kind of girl, stop trying and work on yourself. They don't like that. They don't like when I say that. They rather hear Myron, and no slight to Myron because that's my guy, but I told him when he was here, when he gave like these different pillars what men need to do, and one of them was like have sex with 50 women. They want to hear that only. That's not the advice that I would tell you. I would tell you leave the girls alone and level the fuck up. When I say level the fuck up, they get triggered. They get upset. I don't care. If you don't want to level up, this is not for you. And that's fine.
And a lot of the complaints, like if you say that women are not like that, the idea is that the modern woman is the one who's like they're referencing that you have to deal with them in a certain different way. Well, the modern man has an opportunity to change himself and dictate the terms and path of his life, unlike any generation in the past. Like we can, as modern men, as men of today, we can make a decision to change the whole course of our life. It doesn't matter what our parents did for a living. It doesn't matter where they were from. What their stature was. We have the ability to move up in society based on our own decisions. That is some dope shit right there. You can come from nothing today and with a good idea and a lot of hard work, get very, very far very, very quickly. Maybe not overnight. There's no such thing as overnight success. There's some amount of work and time that you're going to have to pour into this pot to get something meaningful out of it. But the modern man has the ability to change his entire circumstances. And that's beautiful. Like, because when you talk about like, they're like, oh, these values you have, they worked with women in the past. They don't work now. Well, in the past, you didn't have the ability to move up and down the social world and the financial world nearly as quickly as you did in the past. Your parents busted their butt for years to hope to be able to just keep a roof over your head. And then you had to do the same for your kids and you couldn't really get out of the cycle. Now people are showing it all the time where they're coming from very humble beginnings and getting quite far. So we're all in a different place than we were 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. So guys got to get with it too. We got to change with the times and we got to be willing to understand that where we are right now, there's nothing wrong, like you said, with being average, being in the average. but that doesn't mean you got to accept it just as it is. The act of striving for more is in itself meaning that you're improving. Like if you are wanting to be better and you're finding ways to be better, you might still be in the average bracket, but you be the best version of yourself. That's more than what's being said right now. It's instead like the communities that are coming after you, after me, after these types of these content matters. Their whole philosophy is centered on not really looking inwards and instead evaluating what's outside. And I think that's where the big principal disagreement is for us.
Very, very true, Sean. I'm all about self-accountability.
Yeah, we don't play it the way we don't play the field just saying, okay, here's the field and there's nothing I can do.
Correct.
Let me not worry about myself. Let me just worry about how everyone else is.
And when I say, yo, get your shit together, self-accountability, they say, but what about women, holding women accountable? I'm not a woman. I'm not nobody's mother, right? I'm not the president of women. You know what I'm saying? And listen, here's the thing. A lot of the complaints about women that I'm hearing from these guys, it's obvious that the spaces where they're meeting and dealing with these women is not of a level. It's a low frequency. Get out of that. You know, I've told women the same thing. I was on Clubhouse one day and a woman was talking about, you know, she's in Atlanta and she go out and she meet these guys and they fuck boys and this, that, and the third. I'm like, what do you think people want to do when they go out? That's to go out and meet somebody to smash. Like, I'm not going out just to listen to music. Like, if I'm just going to a club, I can listen to music at home. I'm going to meet somebody for some adult interactions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, if you want to meet some people who have different intentions, don't go there, right? It's just I would think it's common sense, right? So you have to elevate your whole existence, elevate your circumstances, and you're dealing with people in different places. Now, it's so interesting. I keep saying he doesn't understand, and he doesn't understand. I don't understand women. It's such a weird thing to say because I've been dealing with women for a long time. I think I do understand women. I don't fully understand women, but who does? And I'm not here to act like I do, right? I don't care to understand them 100%, right? I know what I need, and I know what I'm willing to deal with, and that's it. I'm not imposing my thoughts, beliefs on anybody. I am not a dating advice specialist. I don't sell advice. I sell actual products, tangible products and tangible services. This room that we're sitting in, this is the smallest room in this facility that we have with thousands of feet of space, of warehouse space, with thousands and thousands of pieces of inventory of things that we make and we sell, okay? I don't sell advice. Anyway, nothing wrong with people that do that. That's not what I do. That's not what I'm here for. Because another thing that I was seeing was, they said when we was on the other day, we're pandering for our base. No, our base is men. My base is men. It's like 93% men. There's very few women that follow anybody on YouTube because YouTube is predominantly men who have actual accounts, right? So this is obviously, my position is obviously highly unpopular amongst the viewers because I see it in the comments. You guys hate my position, right? And I am not gonna back down to what I believe and where I stand. Where I stand is firm. I'm deeply rooted in my particular code of ethics, and it is what it is. I want to treat women with respect. I open doors for women. They say they're gonna destroy you. No, they're not. I don't have those problems, you know. And if you shift your perspective, because people are putting their fucking negative glasses on at every situation, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to look at it as a man versus woman thing. I just don't relate to that. I choose not to look at things like that. So if I choose to look at things a certain way, even if the other person is trying to be adversarial or whatever, it ain't adversarial to me. It doesn't affect me that way. It's your perspective. Now, back to what you said, what I was saying earlier about is nothing wrong with people being average. It's not. I don't judge nobody. I don't care. I really don't care. But for those who do have a desire to level up, to, tap into a higher version of yourself, a better version of yourself, you can. You can. Let's say if you try and you don't make it, you tried. And who's shitting on somebody for trying? And if they are, fuck them. You know what I mean? Just because somebody wants, they say misery loves company. And somebody's want to stay average and they don't want, they see you. I have people in my life that I guess we're still friends because we've gotten past certain things, that as I started ascending and doing better and better, and there's one particular friend I would see would unfollow me, follow me back. I'm like, yo, why you always do that? He's like, I don't know, bro. You just changed. I like, talk about that. I mean, we don't hang out no more. We don't do this. Like, I'm like, bro, we getting older. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm changing for the better. I got kids. You got kids, motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this particular friend, it's like he still does the kind of work we did in college. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's a manager now. But fuck that.
Yeah.
Not the vibe.
We're speaking to people who feel this desire to improve, like to be a little bit more, to be a lot more than what they are right now. It's clearly possible. There is no, at this point in time, there is no restraint or limit on what a person can achieve in this country, particularly in any free country, but particularly this country. The way the economy is set up, you can do whatever you want to do.
Facts.
If you're committed to it. So to sit here and say like some people are determined or predestined to be average and that's the only option for them, that's fucking bullshit. It's not true.
Listen, let's talk about destiny. All right? You know what destiny is? Is your fucking decisions. The decisions that you make. All right? Shout out to my boy Jabril, Passport Heavy. Y'all check out his channel. It's fucking fire. The dopest travel channel there is, even on Netflix, YouTube, whatever. But he and I were talking. We've been talking a lot the past few days, and he's currently in Bali, in Indonesia. And, Jabril is like us. We are, listen, fuck it. I'm not going to apologize for being successful. We're in the 1% in this country. And we were talking, and I was like, dang, bro, it's crazy how, because there's people that say, well, it ain't many people like y'all, like you or whatever. I'm like, when I think about it, me and you, we have a network of friends and associates, right, that are all on the same level or close to it, or some better, some a little bit under. And then independently of you, I have like someone like Jabril. We have a network of the same thing, right? Independent of me, he has networks of those kind of people. Independent of him, I have other networks of those kind of people. It's so many people becoming rich these days, right? Because like you said, we are in the information age, right? I started this company right here. This is a new entity without leaving my house. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy for you nowadays. It's so easy for us nowadays. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy, and information is so accessible, right? If some of these people would be blowing me up for advice instead of like, listen, here's the thing. Y'all want girls. Y'all hear me out for a minute. You subscribe to a lot of people for dating advice and whatever. How to not deal with the fucking, the downfall of the men. I don't know what the fuck the shit called. But anyway, you want women. I got women. I have women, and I have the things that if you want this higher caliber woman, I have the things that it takes to get that, right? But y'all want to argue with me. Y'all want to talk shit about me instead of like trying to pick my brain. It's fascinating. That is a mind state that's really fucking bizarre and very self-destructive and not productive in any means, you know? And have I wasted time talking to people? I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you why. Because let's say out of each batch of 100 of these motherfuckers coming at me with this shit, 3 to 5 of them get it, right? And level the fuck up. And that's a vibe. I fucks with that. And that's how it's always gonna be. The other 95 will still talk shit. I don't care. It's falling on, it's not, it doesn't have any impact on my life, right? It just gives me more shit to talk about, I guess, and it gives me the opportunity to keep clarifying my position and helping somebody in the midst of you motherfuckers that gets it or that wants to get it. And then it helps them and they can level up and they're good. And fuck it. If it's only 5 out of 100, I'm cool with that. That's a vibe. Because look, think about it, y'all. I always looked at life like, why not me? Why I can't get this or get that? You know what I'm saying? Most by default, like, I can't get that shit. Fuck that shit. That's like hitting the lottery. I feel like if I played the lottery, I could hit it. Right? The odds are against me, but I feel like that's the kind of self-belief that I have. Don't be mad at me because I have self-belief and I teach self-belief and you don't have it. How about trying to adopt it? Yo, Mike, how do you get that self-belief? Right? Because I have an indomitable will. Like, I bench 500 pounds. That's kind of a crazy thing to try. Especially I'm 220, 225. I'm not a 250, 260 guy or 300-pound guy, right? I'm like, fuck it. I can do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep working towards it until I could touch it, right? And I did, right? That's a testament to me. No, there's no magical anything that was bestowed upon me to be able to do that. It ain't genetics. I got little wrists, you know what I'm saying? Small joints. I'm not a big guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm barely above average in height. I'm not the biggest, you know what I'm saying? So y'all can miss me with that shit. Nobody's born. Some people are born extremely blessed. I'm not. I wasn't born like Mike Tyson or LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Genetic specimens, freaks of nature, And some might look at me like that, but I had to. You think Mike Tyson work out as much as I do? No. He didn't. He's blessed. I had to train my fucking ass off. Hard work. Oh, but Mike got muscles and I work for it, motherfucker. Just like I work for everything I got. Sean was in Atlanta. Sean is like me. It's levels because I've been training way longer than Sean because I'm older than him. But we get to Atlanta, he get to the gym with a bunch of brothers. Some of them are genetically freaky. He outlifted everybody. They was jaw dropped. And Sean is not the biggest guy. You know what I'm saying? Because he worked for it, So, anyway, I don't know. I think I covered some of the things that I wanted to cover regarding me, the misconception that I'm just, like, I'm born into, like, privilege. I worked my way into privilege. I have privilege now. But go get it. If you want it, go get it. Because everybody can get it. There's plenty of people, let's say in the fitness industry, look better than me. More handsome, taller, more aesthetically pleasing, ripped, better shape. They're not making a dime. Is this up here? It's not your looks, it's not your body, it's not your physical prowess. All of that shit is like bait. It can kind of help. But this is the end all. This right here is the brain. And I use my brain to put myself in position of power. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. You got anything?
Yeah. One of the center points is like, because so far I haven't gotten it yet because I haven't seen this content yet. I'm sure there's more to it, but one of the ideas is that you're successful, you're ripped, you're muscular, you have nice things, but you still don't know how to deal with women. But my input on that is that's not even like, why would we want to spend time learning how to deal with women? Why would that be a thing that you would want to spend the time on? If you spent that same time on yourself and you just deal with people, not women, you deal with yourself.
You're preaching, bro.
You then instill value in yourself that allows you, because they're like, oh, that's the recipe for disaster. It's something that the gentleman Rollo had said, like, it's a recipe for disaster.
What was that? I didn't see that.
You spend all this time leveling yourself up. You get in great shape. You've built a business, but then the first woman you ever come across ruined your life because you didn't learn how to deal with women. But that means that there was some character, some part of your character that was deficient. And it wasn't that you knew how to deal with women or you knew the true
Who's
nature.
That? Who's Rollo?
Rollo is the older white guy, yeah.
Okay.
Saying that that's what's going to happen. That's the recipe for disaster. But I would say that's not because you didn't spend time learning the 12 steps of how to deal with a woman. That's because you were not really believing in the value of yourself. I've not had one day of education about how to deal with women.
Neither have I.
Not one course, PDF, or etc. And I'm not saying those things couldn't be helpful to help you get girls if you don't know how to do it, or how to talk to girls, or punchlines, or things that to break the ice. Maybe these are things that you could learn if you didn't figure them out like throughout your youth or whatever, or your 20s. But if you have a real value and a belief in yourself and your value as a man and as a human, you're not going to let yourself get stuck with someone that doesn't also exude what you're looking for. You're going to walk away. You're going to cut the cord.
You know, Sean, it's like what you're saying is so profound yet so simple. I don't understand why this is like trigonometry. This is calculus. It's like why people don't get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would probably be the guy that you would think that might happen to. It's like, okay, well, if Mike has all these physical attributes, I'm not quite as big or muscular, and I don't have like a huge social following, so I should be more susceptible to those things. It's never happened to me, not once. Not once have I been rolled over by a girl or a woman, but I have dated many different people,
but
right?
That has nothing. Just I hate to cut you off, bro, but what he's saying right now has nothing to do with women. It has everything to do with the choices that he made of the women that he decided to spend time with. That's it. It's not the women just, I decide to turn evil or be good. He chose to deal with women of a certain class.
Right. I was looking for people that made sense, like that lined up with the things that I wanted. So I wasn't just trying to fuck everything that walked. I was trying to find people that aligned with me in values and in station in life, in, everything that made sense, in looks and et cetera. Like we talked about this earlier today. I don't want to compare women to cars. Like you could just do whatever, but like if you want, and the same thing would go for women, by the way, like, this is not a gender specific thing. This is like an idea of even our partnership in business. If you want to have something better, you have to do more. So if you're at a certain station in your life, if you're average, if you're lower income, if you're on the come up, why are you chasing after women who don't belong in that category? Whether it's because they're super intelligent, incredibly jaw-droppingly beautiful, like talented, whatever it is, the thing that makes them desirable. If it seems like they're too good for you, they probably are. You got to keep working until you feel like, no, I'm good enough for anyone, because then you walk into that situation feeling that, not just because you're saying it out loud, but because you actually think that shit. You think, I am worthy of this. I'm worthy of this situation. And if it's not lining up for me, I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to find a better one.
Nah, I mean, you're making a lot of sense. I think it should be common sense, right? But I think part of the problem is people are spending too much time. Dudes who ain't got their shit together yet spending way too much time and energy on trying to fuck something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On trying to like, chasing girls and then complain when the desired outcome is not met. It's not their fault. It's your fault. And listen, I'm gonna always fall back on this because all my experience with women, yes, I'm speaking from my perspective, not that I'm not Googling shit. I've controlled the flow in every relationship. How it turned out was all on me, So, and I would like to think that that's reality in most men's experiences with women.
At least it should be. And if it's not, it's because they were doing things that didn't make sense. You have to do what makes sense. Like, again, women are not cars. It's easier to use cars as a reference. We were talking about this earlier. If you make $20 an hour or $30 an hour, it's unlikely that you're going to be driving a very high-end vehicle, and paying rent and paying bills and being able to have money for savings. It's unlikely. You're going to drive a vehicle that makes sense for where you are in your life. My first car was a $6,000 Mustang that I saved up for, and my parents loaned me a little bit of money to finish paying for it, like to get that, to buy it cash.
Right.
It was $6,000, and it was what I could get. My second car was a Camry, and then from there I drove that Camry, like you said, till the wheels fell off, and then from there I started to get a little bit nicer of a car as I could afford to, and as my station in life went up. Nothing was overnight. It's like the trajectory was not nothing to Ferrari. It was the $6,000 old Mustang V6. I couldn't get the V8. The Camry, a 350Z. Then finally, like after I saved up for a while, I stepped into a Mercedes. And lived there for a while. And then you go up another level. I got a RS7. Right. No, I got a really badass M3. Then the RS7. Then the Tesla. Then the Ferrari. Like it was steps to it. It was in each one earned, right? As my station went up, and the caliber of lady, and not just looks, but everything, the education level, how good of a person they are, their other talents, just everything about them, their aura. You're going to get better as you get better. You're going to attract that. It just makes sense. But like, we want to act like this is weird, that a woman would want to be with someone who kind of matches up with what they have to offer.
Right.
It's not weird.
And I want to address something I heard Uncle Kevin Samuel say last night. And this is no slight at him because I like him. And I think that he says a lot of valuable things. But he said something, I don't know, I don't think the context was robust enough, right? He said that women, what your problem is, he said that your mamas and your aunties telling you, get a good career, get educated, get a good job so you don't need no man. Listen, I don't think that's the narrative. Is not so you don't need a man. It's for the two ladies that's here watching, listening. I say get that education, get a good job, because what it's going to do is your standards are going to be higher. You're not going to be dealing with low-level shit, low lives. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when I was doing music, I'm in the studio with this guy. I was recording some shit, and the engineer, we just chopping up. This is in Atlanta, and he showed me his wife, gorgeous, like a Colombian. He's from Colombia too, and she was very beautiful. And I said, "What does she do?" He said, "I'm putting her through school right now." I said, "Why?" This shit was so dope to me. What he said, "Because I love her so much." He said, "If anything ever happens to me, I would want her dealing with a guy that's on a higher level." Like not some cool street punk or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that shit made a lot of sense to me, right? I mean, that's real love to want that for your wife or whatever woman that you care about in your life. You know what I'm saying? So ladies, it's a lot of like people, just because people say things doesn't mean that it's accurate. Just because people say like what Uncle Kev, I always call Uncle Kev, if you're listening, I say that out of respect, Uncle Kev, or what do you call it? The Don? He calls it the Don, the Godfather, right? I say this out of respect, but just because a woman is being told get educated is not for liberation of men. It's to have to be in position in a better situation to where I guess what y'all call high value men or men on a higher caliber, a higher level, is going to be scouring the surface and trying to get, you know, because very high caliber man is not looking for. I mean, let's not get it twisted. To do to take a girl with no education, no job, if she's fine as fuck, you know what I'm saying? But that's not a sustainable situation.
It's a retention tool, right?
Correct.
And that's the thing. You have daughters. I'm not there yet, but hope to be one day. However, I do have a sister. And I ask myself in relationship to all these conversations we've been having, what do I want for her? And my sister is educated. She has a college degree. She's also a really hard worker. And she is very independent, but not on the hate men
Right.
thing, but just that she doesn't need anybody. But she's investing in herself. She works her butt off. She works here with us, but she's here consistently later than everybody else and trying everything she can to contribute value, learn new things. And eventually she's going to be in charge of certain parts of our supply chain. But that's so dope to me because I don't know who he is and I don't know where he's going to come from, but the right guy is going to come.
Be a lucky guy.
And he's going to be a lucky guy because he's going to get someone who is smart, who is capable, who, you know, assuming that he has the right things going on, she is going to be able to multiply and amplify his efforts the way that Arpy does for me.
Correct.
She's going to be able to come in and understand and have like a mindset to see, okay, I see what this guy's doing. Let me figure out how to take my skills and become one with him, how to bond with him and become a union and become a badass team. That's the value of women trying to get an education, trying to work, trying to do, and it's not like, oh, you have to go that way. If a woman wants to be the dominant person in the relationship or alone and go through life in whatever way, that's every woman's decision and right to do so. But it doesn't have to be in relationship to how you feel about men. It could just be that you're trying to invest in yourself and get yourself ready so that when the right person comes along, just like how men are doing, we're getting ourselves ready. We are adding skills, money, assets, knowledge, whatever, staying in shape so that when the right person comes, we're ready to attract them, to make them see that we're good.
Let me be brutally honest, right? So if I'm single and I'm just checking out, I'm seeing what's out there, a woman that's just super sexy, hot, but have nothing to offer, will have no skill set, no education, no whatever. It's not that I would overlook them, but I'm not looking at them in terms of like this is gonna be, look, simp definition. Oh, is a guy who devalues himself in order to give to a woman. I don't even know what these things are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know anybody like that. Anyway, when I see a woman who's attractive but also has something going for herself, I'm like, that's a potential right there. I put a little asterisk by that. You know what I'm saying? That's what, when you get to a certain level, fellas, that's what you're going to want. You're going to want somebody that brings even some intellectual conversation, something. You know, like Tina, that's my little sister too, his sister. She is like a prime candidate for a man of stature, of power, of value, who would really value her, right? And not, because some women get treated like shit because they're vulnerable. They have nothing to fall back on. They, you know what I'm saying? They accept any kind of treatment. You know what I mean? But there's some women like his sister that's got their shit together. So you got to come correct. And you should. Like, why would you not? Why do people want this low level energy, this low level relationships? You know what I'm saying? That's not the vibe, y'all. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't relate to that. You know, I'm not there. Even when I was not ready for the high caliber women, that was not maybe the hook up back in it, like when I was young, but I wasn't trying to be with nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, life is a lot more comfortable when you focus on self, get yourself together, get your life together, and don't spend a whole lot of fucking time on females. Like, educating yourself on girls, like, is interesting. The education should be in your actual interaction with them, you know? Or asking people who have extensive knowledge based on experience, what do you think about this? You know what I'm saying? Because anybody can tell you, like, wherever I'm at, a lot of trainers come to me for advice, right? And I always go to where I know they're fucking up, girls. I like, what's up? It's a lot of girls. I fuck with them. I'm like, There was some bad ones in here, huh? They're like, yeah. I like you smashing them, huh? And usually these guys are not in position yet. They don't have their shit together yet, right? Because personal training is like a stepping stone. You know, it's not a realistic long term occupation like that. You know what I'm saying? So they be like, oh yeah, bro, you know how it is. I like you need to knock that shit off. Any of y'all out there that's in my surroundings that had these conversations, y'all can vouch. I always tell dudes like, yo, quit, leave these fucking girls alone, bro. Focus on your money. Step your shit up. You know what I'm saying? Now, the conversation's a lot more detailed and nuanced than step your shit up. I'm giving them actual advice and tactics or come down here because I know their situation. I don't know everybody's situation, so I'm saying step your shit up. It's a lot to that because they'll run with that too. Or he think it's as easy as saying step your shit up. You know what I'm saying? They run with it. It's like I can't stoop down to this kind of thinking that they try to put on me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. But that's something that I believe wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? So you ain't when you have your shit together, you can pick and choose as you wish, then have fun. You know what I'm saying? They say laugh now, cry later, right? So work hard now and play later because the crying is the working hard part. You know what I'm saying? Is the suffering. Sacrificing, not being able to go out, drink, do all the fun shit, but have real fun later on. Look, that's me, but I'm still on a trajectory. I'm still working my ass off. There's a lot of shit that I don't do. It's a lot of shit that I do and I can do, I can afford to do. I'm 44. I've been living this life for a minute, right? It ain't like I just got it at 44, but I'm older than a lot of y'all, right? So, but before, it's fucking hustle time. The younger you are, you should be ferocious at fucking hustling. Explore all the ideas you have. You know what I'm saying? Work overtime, get 2, 3, 4 jobs. 4 jobs is a lot, but I think you catch my drift. And start businesses, whatever. Like, and remember, I started my first business while I had a job. You know what I'm saying? And as it was going, I still had my job until the money just made too much sense for me to keep working my regular job. So work, start a business. You have the time. I don't got the time for this. I don't have time to work out. Right, well, then don't. Don't make time for yourself then to level the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? True story. We go to Lifetime gyms. I go to Lifetime and Iron Addicts. So it's a girl there. I think you know what I'm talking about. The one do all the pull-ups. Mm-hmm. Super, she's a dime. We had a conversation today. She was like, I'm intimidated by you. You know what I'm saying? She said she usually intimidates everybody. She said, I'm intimidated by you. You know what I'm saying? Cool girl. We just had a conversation, whatever, but because she's in good shape, whatever. But and I'm not in there with a tank. I don't wear tank tops in there. I'm in there covered up, sweatpants, whatever. Right? But I carry myself a certain way. I'm in there handling my business early in the morning and getting the fuck out of there, right? So it's a certain seriousness that I've always had about me and in my life, right? And people see that shit. When you dig your heels in, and it's a lot of things that Sean and I both do that adds to aptitude, right? It adds to who we are. And some of these things are ineffable. It's an ineffable quality. It's something you can't just say is this, is that. But a lot of shit that we do, it increases our aptitude. You know what I'm saying? So some of y'all should be really asking advice. You know what I'm saying? Versus talking shit. Just do a movement. If you don't like me telling you to step the fuck up, go away. Go away. You know what I'm saying? You got to hear me lecturing you. You know what I'm saying? But I give my messages out of love. And I also give it out of a place of, I know this shit works. You know what I'm saying? So as a person who's been homeless, I think I left that out earlier, that I was homeless in 2010. Homeless Rashid. I don't give a fuck about nobody's excuse. If you want to be average, I don't give a fuck. You got some old man telling you, selling you advice. Right? Did he do ebooks or some shit? Did he do ebooks about dating?
Or a book?
A book?
Yeah.
If y'all think that that man gets girls, okay. I don't know shit about him. I just seen a couple clips and I seen him. Okay, if y'all buying that shit, go for it. That's he. I'm not mad at him because he hustling. He getting his bread. Y'all could be getting y'all bread too, but y'all rather be consumers only, consuming his shit, talking shit about me, or whatever the fuck, right? But it's cool. What do I know? I mean, what the fuck do I know? I ain't. I'm just a little YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? I just work out and make money. That's it. I just get paid for working out. Slash, not really. But anyway, that's all I got though. What's up? You got anything?
I think that's it. I think we summed it up. Like, this is a place where you're gonna get pushed. Like, don't come hang out with us. Don't come consume the content that we're trying to create. Don't consume the products we make. If you're not interested in becoming more, because that's like a principal part of everything we do, is trying to not maintain where you're at, but to step up further than that. Every product and service that we offer is kind of built on that in some way, shape, or form, that we're in control, that we have the ability to change and evolve and improve. And that's what we make products and services for. So it's okay if that's uncomfortable, if that's untenable, if it's unsatisfactory for you, then you may just be better off consuming a different type of content. But we know that most people who follow the tactics that we put out and utilize the products that we make, they do benefit from them. And we're very happy to continue busting our butts and providing that information and those products to those people.
That's right. Yo, T, you trying to show us something? You going crazy over there? Oh, okay. So okay. All right. If you want to pull some up, I could shout them out. Let's do that. There go one right there. Kenny Brisbane. The guys that hate Mike are the same dudes that got stuffed in the locker in high school, never touched no paper, and never put baddies on their backs. I don't know. I'm not gonna agree or disagree. I don't know. I just never been a person that hates. I just haven't. Look, it's just wasted energy. It's energy that I could be using to better myself, and I can go work out. I can go do this, do that. You know what I'm saying?
I was, I or some other people you may not have been like super duper, like good at getting girls when you were like in high school, or you may not have been like the jock or like the coolest kid around when you were younger, or you might not necessarily have a lot of money right now or be getting all the girls right now. But if you understand that you are in control of that you can improve and you're working on it, then you're not going to be spending time hating on Mike or anyone who has it. More so, you're going to be excited for the fact that it's possible. Like, okay, he's doing it. There's some kind of like, let me emulate some of those things. Such bullshit saying like, oh, I'll never get to his level, so let me just not even try. Let me just not even put any effort forward and just be where I am, and instead figure out how I can manipulate people and deal with women. I still don't know what the tactics are, but let me figure out how I can deal with women without having to deal with myself.
Right. Give us some super chats, T. I'm gonna shout out my people, even if they talking shit. If you doing a super chat, I got you. Let's see what you doing, man. You got Tourette's over there. Why were they talking shit? Mm. Oh, okay. But I seen a bunch that you passed up. But I see some. All right, shout out to Sean Knowles. Shout out, baby.
Thanks for watching.
Who's that? Did we read that one? Okay, we read that one. Okay. The Sneak 2008. Shout out, baby. The Sneak. Yeah, I should say something. You know what I'm saying? Go down to the bottom. Let's see where we at. What we talking about? Somebody going crazy with no fap. I
should block
I
them.
have no.
Can you block them?
I have no
T?
regards for motherfucking masturbating. I don't
They're
care.
spamming the comments. Can you
Yeah,
block them?
that guy right there is whatever the fuck. No. Put it. Yeah, hide user on this channel. Okay, you can do both and punch him.
Digital punch.
Can you like pull up to his crib? And like, hey, my nigga, like, what's this shit? All right, all right, go down to the bottom. We just start fresh. If we missed your super chat, sorry about that. Would y'all like scroll all the way down? That okay. Would y'all question for y'all? Would y'all like for me to? Cause look, this is like the third live I've ever done. Do y'all like? Would y'all like for us to shout out the super chats? I don't even know how that shit work. You know what I'm saying? But I would. You know what I'm saying? If that's what y'all want. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to NDO Champ. That's my brother. Okay. Okay. Let me address that. Forgot he's the same guy. I'm gonna say your name. Kyle Harris said, "I'm the same guy." Here, pause it. Like, don't let it go. Same guy in his feelings at the LA Fit Expo, wanting to fight everyone. Let's talk about that. That was the Olympia. That was in Vegas. Now, this was the situation. My girl at the time, we had broken up, but we were still cool. She was still like staying with me. Her ex used to beat her ass, used to fuck her up, right? Her ex used to fuck up girls. He was a habitual woman beater, right? There was multiple women all with the same stories about this guy. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to fuck him up. Where I'm from, you get killed for that kind of shit. You get killed for putting hands on women like that. You know what I'm saying? So I seen the guy. Me and him happened to be on the same flight going to the expo. And I didn't have no words for him, but I just gave him a look. He was like, bro, can we talk? Can we talk? I just want to explain. I was like, all right, cool. So the first time we run into each other at the expo, it wasn't planned. We just happened to run into each other. And I was like, what's up? And he was just nervous as shit. And his guys was all around him. And I'm like, you want to talk? What's up? You can talk now. So he's like, yeah, man. He's trying to talk. And then people were starting to crowd around. Like, his guys are touching me. Like, hey, just be cool, Mike. Be cool. I'm like, stop touching me. You know what I'm saying? Tell your guy to be cool. I'm not the one going off smacking up chicks. He need to be cool, but I didn't even say that. I said, yo, bro, you ain't got to touch me. Watch out. It's just me, and it's them. They kept like, Mike, be. I said, yo, stop touching me. Stop touching me. Matter of fact, y'all keep touching me. I'm knocking everybody out. I had to roar, show my teeth, so these motherfuckers stop violating my physical space. Touching me. I ain't touching nobody. You know what I'm saying? The guy and I actually talked after that in the hotel, and I read him his rights. I really, you know what I'm saying? I really gave him some choice words. However, I didn't push him deeper into a dark space. I just told the guy, like, look, bro, you young. You have your whole life ahead of you. You need to correct that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever that may be for you, whatever. So I still gave him something positive. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a bad person. A person that do shit like that. Now, when I was younger, it would have been a wrap. I would have fucked him up. You know what I'm saying? But I fucked him up with some wisdom. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to give him some wisdom and hopefully that he can make a change. And he looks like he's doing good now. Got a kid, I think a wife, which is the vibe. You know what I'm saying? So that's what y'all, and it's funny because people will talk shit, oh, Mike's a bully. I'm not a bully. And if I was a bully in that situation, which I wasn't, the other guy's a woman beater. You know what I'm saying? Someone that I cared about, that was in my life, that I'm still cool with. You know what I'm saying? So where the fuck are y'all morals and principles at? What do y'all stand on? I got certain ethics that I stand on. Some of y'all don't. Because it's just some kind of weird jealousy, hatred towards me. So fuck the situation. Yeah, see, look at Mike. See, there he goes. There he goes. The same people that when I had the incident in Miami at my gym, oh, Mike's selling steroids. Let's address that. Never sold steroids in my life, right? I wasn't doing business with somebody that did. And y'all act like a gang of you motherfuckers don't take steroids. All of a sudden, people that take steroids is like, he's taking steroids or he's selling steroids, as if that's like molesting kids or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Knock it the fuck off. That dude was investigated by the FBI and the DEA. If y'all know better than the feds, y'all got to get better jobs. You know what I'm saying? And they need your jobs, being a couch potato. But What it is though is people want a strong person. They see you slip and fall, they try to pounce on you. They just looking for that opportunity. But everything I do is hater proof, baby. So you gotta come with it. Anyway. All right. So the next one, Tashawn Knowles. We as men need these conversations because some of us don't have anyone to really express on leveling up and being the best men at our great potentials. Much respect, bro. 100, 100. I feel you. There's been conversations that I've listened to when I was younger that stuck with me to this day, you know, little nuggets of wisdom. And I've always seeked that out too, right? So good for you, the ones that's seeking that out, because you never know. One of us could drop a gem that you can take a seed, plant, and really and it can really become something in your mind and your heart and in your life. You know what I'm saying? Master Trainer Solomon Pratt. Hey Mike, I messaged you to send you the bands. Where do you want me to send the 10 band? I guess shoot me a DM. I'll give you the warehouse address. Or shoot me a email, bro, at info@MikeRashid.com. Info@MikeRashid.com. And I got you. All right, T. Yo, they trying to torture us right now with the AC. Okay. So I'm sorry I'm sorry for the ones that I missed. All right. I don't know what this guy talking about, a genius. But anyway. All right. We up out of here. Yo, for those who want guidance, right, when it comes to training, nutrition, mind state, money, I got them. We got you. Go to MikeRashidTraining.com, and you have real experts. Here, bring it down, T. You have real experts helping you get in the best shape of your life. And the type of training is not just going with the motions, really tapping into something different. All right. Sean is guiding the nutrition. He's the nutritionist. It's not, this is all science-based. The training, it comes from years and years of forging very athletic and aesthetic physiques, and we can help y'all, right? Want to show you how strong you are. All right. Raphael Draw. Everyone can't level up. Being an average man is fine because there are double average women. I don't know what that means, but listen, everyone can level up. Everyone doesn't have to level up. It's fine. If you want to be average, do that shit. So shout out to Raphael Drew that subscribes to being average. It's interesting because I'd have to be 70 still trying, and I just can't make it, then I give up. He's like a young man, and he's giving up already. But that's cool. If you find that being average is your lane, I have no problem with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not being facetious. There's nothing wrong with being average. Just I choose not to be. I started out average, started out less than average, but I chose to elevate out of that situation. All right, who's that? Carlos R. Damn, Mike, you've been on this red pill kick lately. I'm not on a red pill kick at all. I'm responding to a lot of the feedback I've been getting. I never even heard of red pill philosophy. And here's the thing: there's a lot of tenets in the red pill ideology that I totally agree with, but I don't have to ever hear the term red pill to have certain principles embedded in my mind and in my life. You know what I'm saying? Just because one haven't heard of whatever ideology doesn't mean that one is not enlightened on certain principles or tactics. All right. Okay. All right, so fuck it. We about to get up out of here. All right, remember, go to MikeRashidTraining.com. Hit the likes like a motherfucker on this. All right. Show your boy some love. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. All right. Oh, hold on. We got Julius. Mike, I found my way back to you guys through Fresh and Fit. Regardless of the difference in opinion that we may have, I respect the hard work piece. I appreciate you, Julius. And you got to keep in mind, I'm older than Fresh and Fit. Sean and I are in different situations in life, right? And once again, we've experienced a whole lot. This is where we are now, right? I've seen the stuff that they're trying to see, and that's no slight at them. I'm older than them, and I told Myron last week. I said, bro, the energy that these guys, your followers, have, that they're coming at me, they're gonna turn on you and treat you the same way when you get to where I'm at. Because at his age, he's doing really well for himself. In 10 years, he's gonna be doing even better as long as he keeps going, right? So they're gonna look at you like you're just this overly successful and buff, in shape dude that's out of touch with average, mediocre men. You know what I'm saying? So I told him that shit, and because, and the reason I touch on the comments so much is because the flock cannot be a ray. We gotta be good shepherds. You know what I'm saying? If people are consuming my information, but they're taking it wrong, me personally, I would just address them like, nah, y'all fucking tripping with this shit. This is not what I meant. This energy is weird, right? And I'm a person that the fact that I give a fuck is the only reason why I even read these comments and deal with people like this to the extent that I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody taking what I say and getting the wrong idea. There's a lot of things. There's a few things, even in fitness, that, like, say, cheat days or whatever shit that I would do, that I would never share because I didn't want nobody not being in the position that I was in trying to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Kevin Terrell, appreciate you, baby. He said, I appreciate you for mentioning you had to restart. I had a dark time in 2016 and now building money up, but hearing you had a hard time in 2010. Listen, Kevin, bro, I've had many hard times, bro. It's not a death sentence. You know what I'm saying? Listen, there's people that have had worse shit happen to them than me and doing better than me. You know what I'm saying? So I never just accept a defeat. It's just a fucking market research to me. It's just learning. It's a learning lesson. I don't accept defeat. That's my defense mechanism. And I'm no different than you or anybody else. I'm just a normal fucking guy. I'm a normal guy that decides to not lose. That's it.
And there was the thought of it doesn't matter if you try, because if everyone tries harder, then the average just increases.
That's a good thing.
What's wrong with that?
That's a great thing.
That's great for humanity.
Good thing.
Because we're just going to achieve more as a collective in that case. If the average one of us is greater, that means that all of us are greater.
And listen, let's say in this perfect world that the average rose to an extent to where average was not bad, to where I don't have to say fuck being average. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a good thing for humanity. All right. I appreciate y'all. We up out of this bitch. We out of this. Shout out to Uncle T holding us down. And shout out to my brother Amir, who gave me a lot of wisdom and insights and perspectives. You know what I'm saying? All right. We up out of here.
Peace.